So obviously you came here on crutches. Talk to
Yeah.
us about the injury. And was there an injury on the foot or leg leading into the fight as well?
My ankle was a bit banged up going into my left ankle. We were practicing leg kicks in camp, and I jarred it. But look, that's nothing. Right now it's my shin. He's a lot better at dealing with leg kicks than he was, I feel. He checked one beautifully. I kicked the knee straight. But I still just kept throwing it, and now I'm paying for it now. My shin is just banged up. But that's it. Other than that, I'm brand new.
Let's talk about the fight round by round. First couple of rounds, you managed to knock him down, but you clearly didn't want to go to the ground with him. Was that a strategy?
Look, I just didn't want to smother my work, whether that be on the feet or if I drop him on the mat. One of the things I made a mistake of in the first round, I smothered my work. I hit him and I over-rushed what I was doing. I hurt him badly in that first fight a few times, and I over-exerted myself trying to get the finish. So this time I was a lot more calculated. I feel that first round was a 10-8 round. I picked him off and I dropped him. I'm happy with it. But as it went on, his durability comes into play and his size comes into play. I was 167 leaving. I was even lighter than I was for the weigh-ins leaving for the fight. So he was about 25 pounds heavier than me in there. And man, he's as tough as they come. I bust him. His face was leaking. And he's still in my face, and he's very good against the fences. He digs the head under the chin, opens up to the body. I just knew I was going to be in these situations where I anticipated, so I caught a few of them on the elbows, and I hit him one or two back to the body, and that kind of swayed it in my favour. But it was a hell of a fight, very close fight. I feel very happy with it. I look forward to looking back at it. It's one for the ages.
And in the third round, it looked like you were pretty exhausted at that point. What was going through your mind? What did John say to you in the corner, and how did you turn it around?
Just be patient. Just accept it. You know what I mean? I knew even that first fight when he hit me that left hand, I was covering up with the shots at some stage, but I just panicked and tried to shoot in or tried to rush in. This time I caught a few shots. I took a few thumps. You know what I mean? Sometimes you've got to take a few thumps in this business, especially when you're dealing with that kind of volume, that range, that size. You're going to take a few smacks, so I just anticipated I would be in that position. I stayed calm. I dropped him in the third round as well, but he came back at the very end. But I just stayed calm, stayed patient, didn't rush, took my smacks and reset for the fourth.
How many close calls do you think there was in that for you?
What do you mean close calls?
Just close calls when it seemed like that ended at, I think it was the third round when it looked like you were pretty
that was his best. That was the best. But I dropped him in the third as well, so it's hard. He had that good flurry, but I wasn't wobbly. I was not wobbly. My senses were completely there. But he's a workhorse, and he gets in and dogs it out. And that's his style. Fair play to him. I anticipated it this time. I didn't anticipate it the last time, but I told myself he's going to be there for the whole lot. No matter how open his face is, and no matter how many times I smack him, he's still going to be there in my face. So I anticipated that would happen. But my cardio training and my walk, I was able to come through it. I was able to take it, get into that corner, and bring my beats down, and off we go again for the fourth round. I think I dropped him again in the fourth, or maybe I dropped him 3 times anyway. I dropped him a few times.
Does this whole experience change what you initially thought about fighting at welterweight? You just proved that you can win a welterweight fight, but you got to take a lot of shots because these guys won't go away. So does it change your opinion of fighting?
I think he has a rough chin. He has a rough chin, that boy has, and he's a big boy. He's not. People can say he's a lightweight, and he was a lightweight, but he was far from a lightweight in there. I think the fact that it was 5 months or 6 months or whatever it was before our next fight was scheduled, he grew in them few months because he was eating naturally. He was bigger than Nick, bigger than Jake, who had fought. Both of them had fought middleweight. So he was most certainly a big boy in there, a big welterweight I was facing in there. So look, I'll never shy away from the fight. I'll never shy away from a challenge. If it makes sense, I'll do it, no problem. But it's a completely different prospect fighting for 170. So never say never.
So will trilogy be your next fight?
Probably not, because the belt situation is lingering. I've got to talk. I'm upset Lorenzo and them weren't there. I know that was his last day a few days ago, but I was expecting Lorenzo and the family to come out for it. And I don't even know who. I'm speaking to new people now, so I don't know. I've got to talk about what's next. There's a lot of options. Some might not be this sport, so we'll see.
Well, how would the weight at 145 be for you now that you have it seems like you packed on muscle.
167, and I was eating I don't have abs at 167. Do you know what I mean? I have a little bit when I do a load of stomach work. I might look a little bit, but if I don't 160, 170, I don't have abs. So I'm the 145-pound champion. I've never missed that weight. Now it's tough to get to it, but I can do it. The training is completely different. The preparation is different, but I can do it. So I've got to sit down and see what piece of the pie they're offering me now, and see where I go from there.
Nate commented that you were running around a little bit, running away from him at some points during the fight. Have you got a comment on that yourself?
You know, he's a big boy, big volume puncher. I had to get out there and bring the beats down and settle myself. But who dropped who? You know what I mean? I was on my feet the whole time. I wasn't wobbled or nothing. He put them volume shots on me and he got in there and fought his heart down. Fair play to him. But who dropped who? I mean, the class was evident in the early rounds of that fight. His size and his durability came into it in the later rounds, but from the better fighter, it's as simple as that.
How good does the victory feel?
It feels damn good. Hard work pays, Caroline. You know what I mean? The true champions, they can believe in themselves when nobody else does, and that's what I do. Everyone wrote me off. Every fighter on the roster, all the media, they all wrote me off, but I believed in myself and stuck with it, and I came back and got the
Does
win.
a fight in Ireland have to happen now?
I'd love it.
They didn't show up at this one as much, and you can understand why. You've been asking them to come on.
I tell you what, I was over the moon. I'm my countryman when I walked out to that weigh-in, and all of a sudden they were there. It was like everyone was saying, no worries, you're here this time. I was like, yeah, fuck it, I'm gonna be in war zone this time, and I was kind of anticipating that. And then I walked out to the weigh-ins. It was like they were going crazy. I was like, I'm over the moon with it, but I would love to fight at home from my countryman. You know, I fight so damn much that it's hard for my fans to come support me, and I understand that. So I don't know, again, we'll see, hopefully.
What did you tell him after the fight, that moment of respect there?
He said, yes, you're a fucking Mexican warrior, respect.
Conor,
And that's it, we'll do it again.
you already know your explosion power, you know. Today you proved that you were smart at fighting too.
Yeah, you have to fight smart. You have to fight smart when the attributes are against you. So that's it. I chose to fight smart.
We're gonna see you next time.
All right, guys, thank you very much for wrapping up.
Thanks so much, guys. Thank you.